Paper name is Operations Research and Optimization Technique for the courses of the MCA, and paper code is MCA 304. And for the BTech courses, paper name is Operations Research and paper code is CS 505A. Today's lecture is the lecture 3 and part of the lecture 3 and the lecture 4. This is the part of the linear programming problem, and for the MCA 304 also the linear programming problem, and the part of the lecture 3 and part of the lecture 4 today we learn. And topics is the convex set and the related terms, and also the solution, what is called the solution, basic and non-basic solutions, feasible solutions, and optimal and optimum solution. Other than also another the two things is the degenerate and non-degenerate solution. And also I explain the basic and non-basic and the feasible solution by using the examples. Before we enter into the convex set, first we have to clear the concept of the linearly dependent and the linearly independent vector. What is called the linearly dependent vector and what is called the linearly independent vector. Let A1 to AK be a collection of the k column vectors. If we consider a matrix and each and every column we are considering the component of the matrix is the A1, A2, A3 capital A1, A2, AK, that is the k columns is there. Each of the dimension m, that means it is that matrix is the m cross k. That means the number of columns is the k and number of the rows is m. Each and every A1 has the m component, AK has the m component. We say that these vectors are linearly independent if it is not possible to find key real numbers A1 to AK, not all 0, such that Aj into Aj equal to 0. That means A1 into A1 plus A2 into A2, AK into AK. This O is the vector O. This is not the 0, this is the vector O. It has the m component. Is the k dimensional null vector. Otherwise, they are called the linearly dependent. So, if this is equal to 0 and such of them are not equal to 0, then it is called they are the linearly independent. That means A1 to AK are linearly independent. And if Aj into A equal to 0, are called the linearly dependent. Otherwise, they are called the it is only possible this equal to 0, only all the edges are 0, then it is called the linearly independent. It is possible, suppose few edges are not equal to 0 and this equal to the 0 vector, then it is called the linearly dependent. If we find out that all the edges are 0, only possible to this equal to 0 for the equality holds, then it is called the linearly independent. Convex combination. If a point x, that means if we say x is a vector that can be expressed with the x1 to xp vectors such that lambda 1 x1 equal to lambda 2 x2 is equal to lambda p xp and all lambda I greater than equal to 0. This is called the first. This is known as the linear combination. That linear combination is known as the convex combination, we can say when lambda I, sum of the lambda i's are greater than equal to 0. So all lambda i's are not equal to 0, few are not equal to 0, and few may be the 0. And sum of lambda I is equal to 1. With this combination, along with this, it is satisfied this properties lambda 1 plus lambda 2 and lambda p is equal to 1. Then it is called the convex combination. Otherwise, it is called the combination of the, we can say, is the linear combination. That means x we can express as a linear combination of x1, x2 and xp. And if the sum of the scalar is equal to 1, then it is known as the convex combination. X is the convex combination of x1, x2, xp. Convex set. A set X is said to be a convex set if and only if for any pair x1, x2 belongs to X, where lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2 belongs to X, for all lambda belongs to 0, 1. What does it mean? If we take the 2 points x1 and x2 and we find out the convex combination of that also belongs to the set X. So if we take it lambda 1 x1 plus lambda 2 x2, since it is a convex combination, so lambda 1 plus lambda 2 is equal to 1. So lambda 2 we can write 1 minus lambda 1. So instead of lambda 1, lambda 2, we are taking here the lambda. So lambda x1 plus, this will be 1 minus lambda because sum of this coefficient is equal to the 1. So if it is lambda, this will be the 1 minus lambda. So convex combination of x1, x2 should belongs to the X. If it is holds for all the points belongs to X, then X is known as the convex set, because x1, x2 is our the arbitrary points. Those points are belongs to the X, and values of the lambda is lies between 0 to 1. So if lambda is equal to 0, so other one will be the 1. If lambda is equal to 1, so other value will be 0. If it is lies between, so 1 will be lambda and other will be 1 minus lambda. Example of the convex set. A circle, a triangle in the 2 dimension. These two are the examples. We can also call the rectangle, square, rhombus, all are the polygon. But it depends upon the shape of that. Sometimes it may not be. And a sphere, a cube in the 3 dimension are the convex set. But the set of all points on the boundary of the circle are not the convex set, because in a circle, if we consider only the circumference of the circle, that means all the points, if we add the any 2 points that does not lie into the on the circumference. That's why set of all points on the boundary of the circle are not the convex set. Only along with the circumference, along with the inside, or we can call all the points inside that is the convex set. Few examples is given here with the help of the diagram. For a convex set, the line segment joining any 2 points P and Q must lie in the same set. That is the set of all possible convex combinations of these 2 points. When you are taking the 2 points, suppose P1 and P2. So combination of these 2 lies in this line. That means simple way you can say this line joining the 2 points. This is the line segment joining the 2 points P and P2 should lies within the set. If it is lies within the set, then it is a convex set. See, if we take any point here, that should be lies within the set. Take P1 here and P2 here. Take P1 here, P2 here. So lines joining the line segment lies within the set. In this case, this is we are taking x1, x2, the 2 points, and line segment joining the 2 points lies within the set. But in this case, if we join x1, x2, that line is not within the set. So this is not a convex set. In this case, P1 and P2, that the line segment does not lies within the set, so it is not a convex set. This is not the convex set. This is not convex set. This is not convex set. This is not convex set. If it is, explain by a diagram. Otherwise, we can say convex combination of P1, P2 or X1, X2 should be lies within the set, then it is a convex set. A general system of n linear equations with the n unknowns can be written as a11x1 a12x2 plus a1nxn is equal to b1. This is a system of linear equations where the n number of unknowns and m number of equations. These are the general system of linear equations. x1, x2, xn are the unknowns. a11, a12, amn are the coefficients of the systems, and b1, b2, bm are the constant terms in the right hand side of the system of linear equations. Are the coefficients of the system, and b1, b2, bm are the constant terms, or we can write in the matrix notation ax is equal to b, where x has the component x1 to xn, and a has the a is a coefficient matrix, that is a11 to a1n, a21 to a2n, like that, amn, am1 to amn, and b has the component b1, b2, bm, which simultaneously satisfied all above equation is called the solutions of the system of the equation. So those values of x1, x2, xn satisfies these relations. That means m equations are known as the solutions. Those values of x1, x2, xn satisfies these relations are known as the solution. Now, different types of solutions is there. First is the basic solution. How to find out the basic solution? Because we find out that our system of linear equation here n number of variables and m number of equation. Mainly, we find out that m is less than n. That means the number of variables is more than the number of relations is given. That time, how we can find out our solution? That is, start with the basic solutions. Let there are n variables and m, where n is greater than m, equations, and let the matrix B equal to a1, a2, am, and rest part is am plus 1 to an. In the coefficient matrix, there are a1, a2, am, not I'm talking for the B. For the coefficient matrix capital A, it has the column vector a1, a2, am, and then an, and each have the component of m. Now we considering a part of that coefficient matrix B, where a1, a2, am number of columns, a1 to am, and each and every have the components is the m. That means number of rows is the m. These are non-singular. Then we can uniquely solve the equations. That means we are taking the m equation and m variables from that, so that we can write b xb equal to b, and rest of the variables if we consider, that is x m plus 1 to xm equal to 0. That means we have x1 to xm variables, and rest of the variables x m plus 1 to xm we are considering as a 0. So we have the variables is xb equal to x1 to xm, and b is a coefficient matrix of order m cross m, and p we are considering the right hand side which has the component 1 to m, that means b1 to bm. So by putting x equal to xb0, that means the rest of the part of the variables we are considering as a 0. That means x m plus 1 to xn. That means n minus m number of variables we are considering as a 0. By setting the first m components of x to those of the xb, and the remaining n minus m components to 0. So we have the number of variables x1 to xn, and x1 to xm we are set as a xb, and rest xm plus 1 to xm we are considering as a 0, that is the n minus m components to 0. We obtain a solution ax is equal to b. Given a set of m simultaneous linear equations in n unknowns, let b be any non-singular m cross m matrix made up of the columns of A if all the n minus m components of X not associate with the columns of the B. That means whatever we are considering or we are setting equal to 0, that variables are not in the B, are set equal to 0. Those are not in the B, we are considering as a 0. The solution to the resulting set of the equations is said to be a basic solution with respect to the basis B. That B is known as the basis. That means which part we are considering from the coefficient matrix, that part is known as the basis. The components of X associated with the column of B are called the basic variables. That means first m variables x1 to xm we are considering not equal to 0, and rest n minus m variables, that is x m plus 1 to xn we are setting as a 0. That is called the non-basic variables, and those are we are considering for finding the solution x1 to xm. That components of x are known as the basic variables, and those are we are considering as a equal to 0, set equal to 0, that is known as the non-basic variable. Now non-basic variables, the variables which are not basic, our term is the non-basic variables. That means first m number of variables are the basic variables, and rest n minus m variables are known as the non-basic variables. For a solution to be basis, at least n minus m variables must be 0. If a number of non-zero basic variables be less than m, that is if k of the basic variables be 0, then the solution is called the degenerate basic solution. We can say in another way, suppose after finding the solution of the basic solution, that means after finding the solution, at least one basic variable is equal to 0. After finding the solution, at least one basic variable equal to 0, then it is called the degenerate basic feasible solution. Degenerate basic solution, not the feasible. We are not talking right now about the feasible. Next we learn what is called the feasible. That means out of the m variables, suppose few are 0 and key number of variables are not equal to 0, then it is called the degenerate basic solution. That means we can say if at least one basic variable's value is equal to 0, then it is called the degenerate basic solution. If none of the basic variables is vanished, that means none of the basic variables value is equal to 0 after finding the solution, then it is called the non-degenerate basic solution. That means that is the two part. First is the m number of variables, whatever we are considering to find out the solutions, that is known as the basic variables. If after finding the solution, out of the m variables, any one have the value 0, then it is called the degenerate basic solution. If none of the basic variables value is equal to 0 after finding the solution, then it is called the non-degenerate basic solution. Thus, there will be exactly m non-zero and n minus m0 solution in a non-degenerate basic solution. So otherwise we can say for a basic variables or basic solution, m number of variables have the non-zero solution and n minus m variables have the zero solution. The basic solution are finite in number. The possible number of basic solution in a system of m equations in n unknowns will be, we can write that we have the n number of unknowns and m number of equations where m is less than n. So you can select how many ways we can select the m from the n, that is the NCM. That notation we can write in this way also, NCM. So that way we can select the m variables and rest n minus m variables equal to 0. So we will get that many NCM, many basic solution. That is not the one solution, we will get NCM where m less than n number of solutions. That solution is the basic solution. It may be degenerate, it may be non-degenerate. After finding solution, we can conclude that. Now we discuss about the feasible solution. In a linear programming problem, a solution satisfying the constraints and non-negativity conditions is called the feasible solution. If it is only satisfying the constraint without satisfying the non-negativity conditions, then it is known as the solution. As soon as the solution satisfying the non-negativity conditions, then it is called the feasible solution. So solution should satisfy the non-negativity condition. As soon as it is satisfied the non-negativity conditions, then it is known as the feasible solution. Feasible means it should be greater than equal to 0. Basic solution considering a set of linear simultaneous equations of n. N means number of variables, n is greater than m variables and m is the number of equations. Ax is equal to b if any m cross n non-singular matrix is chosen from A and if all the n minus m variables not associated with that. Now what is called the extreme point, when we are finding the optimal solution or the optimum solution, that time we are concerned with the extreme point. What is called the extreme point? Let P be a polyhedron for a triangle. There is the 3 point. 3 point is there. So within the triangle, all the points within that is the feasible solution. Solution, then feasible solution. So optimum solution may arises in the 3 points, that triangle point. That point is known as the extreme point. nowhere the optimum value exists only in the corner points. That corner points is known as the extreme point. So generally, sometimes we are call it the corner point, sometimes we call it the extreme point. Suppose in a three-dimensional, in a tetrahedron, that the corner points where the optimal solution arises within that tetrahedron, that is our feasible area or feasible region, but optimal solution arises in the corner points. Let P be a polyhedron in the n-dimensional space. That n-dimensional space polyhedron, basically we cannot imagine, that is we can write that P belongs to the Rn. Rn is the n-dimensional space. If vector x belongs to the P, is an extreme point of P if we cannot find the two vectors y and z belongs to the P, both different from x. If it is the x, we cannot find out another two points yz. That yz should be different from the x. And a scalar lambda belongs to the 0 1 such that, so we can write the x is equal to lambda y plus 1 minus lambda z. If that is the 2 point is there, then jx, if it is a, suppose the convex set, inside is the convex set, so we can express one point with the linear combinations of the other point. So the optimal solution exists at the point this and this. This is the n-dimensional. That imagination is very difficult to that. So when we are finding the optimal solution, we move from one corner to the one corner. So it has the another face, backside another face is there. So we are moving from one corner point, or we can say the one extreme point to the another extreme point. It is, we are showing the polyhedron. Not looks like that, but it is the section of that we are considering here. A degenerate basic solution is said to occur if one or more of the basic variables is a basic solution has value 0. It is already I discussed what is called the degenerate basic solution. If at least one or more basic solution has the value is 0, then it is called the degenerate solution. Basic feasible solution, that also we learn, but we can say in another way, a vector x belongs to S such that x belongs to Rn and Ax is equal to B, x greater than equal to 0 is said to be the feasible to the linear programming problem in the standard form. A feasible solution that is also the basic is said to be the basic feasible solution. It should be first basic and feasible, then it is called the basic feasible solution. Basic means we are considering that in the Rn and m number of the equations and n variables, we are setting m number of variables is not equal to 0 and rest n minus m variable equal to 0. After solving that, if that the set of values is feasible, whatever the solution will get, then it is called the basic feasible solution, and short form is BFS. If this solution is degenerate, it is called the degenerate basic feasible solution. If it is the non-degenerate, then it is called the non-degenerate basic feasible solution. Degenerate. A basic solution X belongs to Rn is said to be the degenerate if the number of structural constraints and the non-negative conditions active at X is greater than N. In two dimensions, a degenerate basic solution occurs at the intersection of three or more lines. In the three dimensions, a degenerate solution is at the intersection of four or more hyperplanes. When we are talking about the two dimension, then it is the intersection of the three lines. Or when we are talking of the three dimension, then it is the intersection of hyperplanes. Optimal solution. A linear programming problem is, we know what is called the linear programming problem. It has the objective function and few constraints is there and the non-negativity conditions. Optimize z is equal to j is equal to 1 to n cjxj. This is our the objective function. Subject to the condition j is equal to 1 to n aijxj less than equal to or greater than equal to bii is equal to 1 to n. That means we have the m number of the constraints. Objective function, this is also linear, this is also linear, and the non-negativity conditions xj greater than equal to 0, j is equal to 1. This is the non-negativity conditions. So this is our the linear programming problem. And what would be the optimum solution? First, we have to find out the basic feasible solution. Out of the basic feasible solution, which set of the values gives us the optimum value of this objective function. That is our the optimum solution. Optimizations of the objective function includes maximization as well as the minimization. A set of values of the decision variables x to xn which satisfies the set of the conditions constraint or the conditions we can say, and the non-negativity restrictions is called the feasible solution. A feasible solution which is addition optimize the objective function is called the optimal solution. That is, I already explained. Now here I am considering the few examples. With the help of that, I can explain what is the basic solution and what is called the non-basic solution, and what is called the basic variables and what is called the non-basic variables, and what is called the basic feasible solution and what is called the non-basic and feasible, non-feasible, not feasible, degenerate and non-degenerate, one by one. So let us consider an example. So determine the basic feasible solution of the following equations. That is the two equations and the three variables. 2x1 plus 3x2 plus 4x3 is equal to 5. 2x1 plus 4x2 plus 5x3 is equal to 6. So here, three variables and two equations. Three variables, two equations. So 3 minus 1 and 2. This is the two equations. So we can choose the two variables in a basis. How many ways? 3C2 ways. That means the three ways. So we can take x1, x2 is the basic and x3 is equal to non-basic. So we can set x3 equal to 0. Another way, x1, x3 is the basics, x2 equal to 0. That is the one set. Another is x1 equal to 0, x2 and x3 is the basic variable. So which one we are setting equal to 0, that is our the non-basic, and which one we are considering for the basic, for finding the solution, that is our the basic. For the given problem, number of equation m is equal to 2 and the number of unknowns is n is equal to 3. So we can say 3 minus 2 is equal to 1 variable equal to 0 in how many ways? 3c 1 equal to 3 ways. Therefore, there are the three basic solutions we will get. Case 1. Let x1 equal to 0, that is the non-basic, and the basic variables x2 and x3. These two variables we are considering to find out the solution. Then what we will get? 3x2 plus 4x3 equal to 5. And another equation is 4x2 plus 5x3 is equal to 6. So after solving this, what we will get? x2 is equal to minus 1, x3 is equal to 2. And another, this is our the basic solution. This is our the basic solution. And non-basic is x1 equal to 0. So if we observed here, x1 equal to 0, x2 is equal to minus 1 and x3 is equal to 2. So this is our the, this x2 is minus 1. This is not satisfying, is our the non-negativity condition. So this is not a feasible solution. This is basic but not feasible. So this solution for the case 1 when x1 equal to 0, this is not the basic feasible solution. This is not a feasible solution. Now case 2, we are considering x2 is equal to 0. That means it is the non-basic. Which one are setting equal to 0? We can set in the three ways one variable equal to 0. First we are considering x1 equal to 0. Then we are considering x2 equal to 0. So our basic variables is x1 and x3. So from the equations we will get 2x1 plus 4x3 is equal to 5. 2x1 plus 5x3 is equal to 6. And after solving this, we will get x1 equal to half and x3 is equal to 1. Subtract it, you will get that. Subtract this will be cancelled out, and from this we will get x3 is equal to 1. If we put it here, we will get x1 is equal to half. So in this case, x1 half, x3 is equal to 1 and x2 equal to 0. That is not our the basic variable, that is the non-basic. So this is the feasible. This is the feasible, no one is the negative. So this is our the basic feasible solution. So this is our the basic feasible solution. In the case 2, we got the basic feasible solution. Now case 3, let x3 is equal to 0, that is the non-basic. Then basic variables are left is a x1 and x2. So from that we will get 2x1 plus 3x2 is equal to 5 and 2x1 plus 4x2 is equal to 6. So from that we will get x2 is equal to 1 and x1 is equal to 1. So in this case x3 is equal to 0 is non-basic, and for the basic no one is the negative and no one is equal to 0. So this is our the basic feasible solution. So from that, this is also the non-degenerate. Previous one also. This is also the non-degenerate. No one is the 0 after finding the solution. So this is basic feasible and non-degenerate. This is also the basic feasible and non-degenerate. Hence, the basic feasible solution BFS is 110. This case 110 and another is half 01. We can write within the bracket. This is the non-degenerate basic feasible solution. Let us consider another example. Determine the basic feasible solution of the following system of equations. x1 plus 2x2 plus x3 is equal to 4. 2x1 plus x2 plus 5x3 is equal to 5. Solution. For the given problem, number of equations m is equal to 2 and number of Now, for the given problem, the number of equations m is equal to 2 and number of unknowns is variables n equal to 3. So we can say one. Now we can set the one variable 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. So we can set the one variable equal to 0 in 3c, 1 equal to 3i. Therefore, there are the three basic solutions we will get. Case 1, when x1 equal to 0, that is the non-basic and basic variables is x2 and x3. We get 2x2 plus x3 is equal to 4 and x2 plus 5x3 is equal to 5. After solving this, we will get x2 is equal to 5 by 3 and x3 equal to 2 by 3. So in this case, it is a basic. So this is the basic feasible solution, non-degenerate basic feasible solution when x2 equal to 0, non-basic, and the basic variables x1, x2, x3, we get x1 plus x3 is equal to 4 and 2x1 plus 5x3 is equal to 5. Solving, we will get x1 is equal to 5 and x3 is equal to minus 1. So this is not a basic feasible solution. When x3 equal to 0, that is the non-basic, and the basic variables is x1 and x2, we get x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 4, 2x1 plus x2 is equal to 5. Solving, we get x1 is equal to 2 and x2 is equal to 1. So this is a non-degenerate basic feasible solution. So our hence the basic feasible solution BFS is 0, 5 by 3, 2 by 3 and 2, 1, 0. This is also the non-degenerate basic feasible solution. So next class is the lecture 5. We will discuss with the graphical method. We will learn in the next class the graphical method, how to find out the optimal solution by using the graphical method.